mostly is that I think people have had these fights for these last few weeks about these guys, about Dillon Gabriel, about his backup quarterback right now. And I think we've taken this and we've totally bastardized the entire argument. Like, you can't. Now, there's nothing good or bad you can say about either one. There's nothing good or bad you can say about Dillon Gabriel. If I say Dillon Gabriel performed like a backup quarterback, apparently that's a high insult to a considerable amount of fans out there. And I go, what on earth tells you that he's going to be a franchise quarterback? What on earth tells you that that guy's going to be a guy that you put up on the side of the stadium, whether it be in this one or the new one, for years to come? There's nothing that tells you that, guys. And by that stretch, I haven't got a chance to see anything, and it's not that he deserves to right now over it. I don't see anything out of his backup that would tell me I would put him on the side of a stadium, either here or in the new one coming up. So I don't have that. When I look at what Dillon Gabriel did, like, I heard Jonathan and Nick, and they were going after each other for a segment yesterday about it. And I couldn't help but agree with Jonathan over Nick, where, hey, I know there were interceptable balls. They didn't get picked off. But I also know that I judge, and this is where I think the difference is, I'm judging Dillon Gabriel by what I think his future is. It's not franchise. He wasn't taken in the first round. He was taken in the third round. And so when I see his future exactly for what it is. In a role of a backup where QB wins is a stat. Did you win the game? Yeah. Did you win the game knowing that another guy's going to come in and hopefully start again for your football team? You hope so. Like, that's what it matters to me with backup QBs. Like Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I keep using him as an example, and there's a very specific reason why, and we'll talk about that another day long from now. Mac Jones winning the football game with the San Francisco 49ers is a stat. Because you're doing what? You're keeping the seat warm for Brock Purdy. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy, now there's other arguments that we have to have, because he's supposed to be a franchise quarterback. Jared Goff, whoever his backup ends up being, that guy's just QB wins, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is not a franchise quarterback, and that's okay. But I'm trying to be respectful, saying that I've never seen him as a franchise quarterback. So why is that all of a sudden some sort of crazy insult to look at what a quarterback has done and say, hey, it ain't been that great. It's been what a backup quarterback does, and that's what I foresee for the guy.
Well, and people have got to stop throwing out there that he has 0 interceptions as if he's playing mistake-free.
He's not playing mistake-free.
He's not playing mistake-free. You know who else has 0 interceptions? Justin Fields this year has 0 interceptions. Do you know why guys like Justin Fields and Dillon Gabriel have 0 interceptions? They've either gotten lucky or their quarterbacks trust them their coaches trust them so little that they are not allowing them to unleash balls the way that, like, Baker Mayfield was unleashing balls last night down the field.
And to say that, well, that's some sort of crazy disrespect. And the names that he's been compared to, these once-in-a-generation names, which the reason they're I've seen Tom Brady and his name in the same tweet at me. I've heard his name in the same call on the afternoon show. They didn't say it, but I've heard it in the same call. Like, some of the stuff is insane. Like, I think we're just making things up. And as a guy who, you and I argue with each other every day, I'm not just going to make things up to try to do the argument. I'm not going to say what I don't think the truth is. The truth of the matter is until I get any further evidence, and I haven't so far, he's a backup quarterback. And that's his future. That's not a bad future. 10 years in the league, 8 years in the league, a pension.
Yeah, it's if he can hang around. There's a bunch of guys I thought could be backup quarterbacks that get bounced from the league in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, that's not a bad situation. There's been plenty of guys taken in his round and after who have ended up being nothing in the league. I think he can be a decent backup quarterback, probably for the Browns and then for a couple of other teams before it's all said and done. I think that's only fair because we're probably looking at social media way too much. And everybody's in a knockdown. The Browns won on Sunday. It's a knockdown dragout right now between the guy who started and the backup. And I felt like I accidentally fanned the flames.
See, I haven't seen this.
I didn't mean to do it, and I apologize. I fanned the flames yesterday. I'm sorry.
Dragout?
Oh, I posted Nick and Jonathan's video. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just going to say what it is, man. I posted Nick and Jonathan's video. I was like, I love confrontations. I also happen to agree with Jonathan on this one. I got people calling Jonathan a bitch in my mentions. Like, whoa, over Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, guys? Come on, man. You made me do this, you bitch. That was passionate acting. I should have won an award for that. It was the movie Heavenly Claws. My scene got cut. It was good acting, though.
I have not seen this fight that apparently is escalated.
Like, why are we calling people such words on the internet over Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders?
Isn't that what the internet's for?
Yeah, but like, okay, we've got listeners. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, we got listeners who have been on this, who've been listening to this show and interacting with this show for 9 years. 9 years. And I flat out told some of them, like, they got mad over some of the discourse while the Browns were, like, losing. Like, it's not like, I was going to say, well, the Browns were bad. We're not out of the woods yet just by beating the Dolphins, but let's be honest here. They got mad at some of the discourse, and there were some things going, I go, buddy, I can't imagine, like, 10 years from now, this could all be over. I think you're a good guy, at least from what I'm guessing here on the internet. I don't want to be a person that lost internet people or anything, or even real-life friendships over Joe Flacco, Dillon Gabriel arguments. Like, if we were arguing over some things of some real significance in our big-time fandom lives, fine. I'm not going to lose people over Joe Flacco or Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. At least not yet. At least not yet I don't want to do that, which they won on Sunday. I think a win is a QB stat for a guy who I think is going to be a career backup. That's not a slight. It's not a slight. You could say, well, Ken, you could say it's not a slight all you want, but it's a slight. No, it's not. It's not.
Well, when the Browns took him in the third round, were they thinking, all right, a favorable outcome would be a career backup?
Yeah, that's what they said. Isn't that what they said? Did
they called him a backup? I got drafted.
Who was it? I swear to God, there was that said. Owen's nodding his head. He knows somebody.
Andrew Berry, yeah.
Somebody had said they see a guy who they want, or it was like Pelissero. Somebody see Owen. I cross-referenced with Owen. He loves to make me look like an idiot, and he's like, "No, Ken's right." Like somebody who was an insider said that the Browns see him as a backup, as a good career backup, and that. So once I heard that, I go, okay, fine. Then that's what he is. So if he goes out there and he averages 4.5 yards a pass and he doesn't turn the ball over, which I know he got very close a couple of times. I get that. But he didn't turn the ball over. It's not a high bar for backup QBs. Did you win the game? Yeah. It's basically where it is.
But did you not lose the game? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you not lose? Thank you. Did you not lose the game? No, he didn't. Okay, that's where the bar is for a backup quarterback.
When you're spotted that kind of a lead, your defense dominates to that extent, don't blow the game.
I have the same bar set for Dillon Gabriel next week, the week after that, but when he has to come in, if the Browns keep him and he has to come in for Julian Sane in 3 years or something, I have no idea. It's going to be the same bar.
Yeah, they had a 24-6 lead. He had 55 yards passing. That's perfect.
Because you know what you do with a backup quarterback? You know what you do with a backup quarterback when you have a 24-6 lead? Mm-hmm. You sit on the ball. Mm-hmm. You run the ball on first and second down. You maybe do a little bit of easy play action, easy dink and dunks to try to open up the box a little bit.
Unless it's Chad Henne in a playoff game and they desperately need to get a first down.
It's a playoff game. And Chad Henne, I mean, he's thrown for 400 yards in this league before.
That's true.
I don't see Dillon Gabriel throwing for 400. You don't see Dillon Gabriel throwing for 400.
One of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play for one of the greatest organizations ever is Chad Henne.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Afternoon drive, though. I'm going to ask you this question here. How much time did Dillon Gabriel buy himself with that win on Sunday? Nick and Jonathan had a debate yesterday afternoon. Here's Nick and JP. They were debating on Dillon Gabriel's performance overall.
In that game, if he's 13 of 18, which is, again, a 73% completion percentage, he had a 90 passer rating.
Who cares about, we live in an era where everybody's fudging pass completion percentages by doing a bunch of check down bull crap.
What he has for himself that other quarterbacks around this Browns team doesn't is that he is not turning the ball over and he is not putting the football in harm's way on a consistent basis.
Other quarterbacks the last 2 weeks, he has put the ball in harm's way. He just hasn't turned the ball over. Those are two different things.
Did he turn the ball over?
No, but you said he hasn't put the ball in harm's way.
You're giving him interceptions that he didn't have, though. Archuleta called it careless. You can call it whatever you want. It did hit the Browns receiver's hands, did it not?
Yes, after it went through the... What are we doing here? Are we trying to identify this kid? Because you and I both have a way that we think he is. But this idea that the first game, that was his rookie game, so we got to give him a pass there.
Well, he's 3 games into this, Nick.
Well, yes, that's the point. You got
We're supposed to have
17 games
this
this
all
season.
figured out over 3 games with Dillon Gabriel?
I'm supposed to say you can have an opinion on how he's played.
And my opinion is it wasn't as bad as you're saying it is right now.
No, your opinion was we can't grade him on this game. We couldn't grade him on last game.
No, my opinion was last week we couldn't grade him, and this week I said it was a much better game than what you're saying. I've said acceptable like 12 million times. Am I putting him in Canton? No.
You guys are arguing about the wrong thing. I happen to. Jonathan's the guy who wanted Shedeur Sanders. What is the argument? What are we arguing about? This is madness. Don't you see? Am I wrong?
I think the bigger argument is just, have you seen anything out of Dillon Gabriel to make you think that you're done looking for a quarterback?
No.
And the answer is no, right?
No.
Like everybody agrees on that.
Well,
so maybe that's not an argument.
I know it's a different position, but you have a rookie in the backfield in Quinshon Judkins that you go, oh, that guy's got it, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing to Dillon Gabriel that goes, that guy's got it, right?
Yeah.
And that could change, but it hasn't.
Exactly.
Nothing's come out of the gate and said,
nothing that
we
you've
found
seen.
him.
That's a great point to make. Quinshon Judkins carries the ball. You go, dude, that's a dude. Yeah. You see the get off a little bit from Mason Graham. You go, that's a dude. Carson Schlesinger all over the place. Dude, certifiable. I'm not. No one's saying that.
Yeah,
Who is saying that about Dillon Gabriel?
We are capable of doing 2 things at once. We don't just have to root for the Browns to win, and that's the end of our day. That's not what GMs do. That's not what coaches do.
No.
Like, we are, until we are proven otherwise, we are always looking for the quarterback. Because we know that nothing really matters until they get a quarterback. It's great that it looks like they've got a great rookie class. And if they do that again next year, that's great again.
You can't enjoy it, and if you don't think you have the quarterback.
You can do 2 things at once. You can enjoy a win, and then also, hey, as of whatever the date, 10/21/2025, do we have the quarterback yet? The answer is no.
No.
And I think until proven otherwise, like, yeah, we can enjoy these wins. We can also say, but they still don't have a quarterback. So
yes. Because he's a backup QB. So you would say that with a backup quarterback. That's the way it is. You started the season with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco got traded. Just because Joe Flacco got traded doesn't mean that Dillon Gabriel's not a backup quarterback. Technically, you're playing with your backup quarterback right now. That's where it is. So I know we had a Derek Anderson situation play out once. Okay, that's one out of how many guys in the history of the NFL? And Derek Anderson was only good for a little bit of time because Derek Anderson was basically a glorified backup. He was still a backup who was on a heater. So maybe Dillon Gabriel will get on a heater. Let me answer the question I keep asking you, and I don't let you answer for whatever reason, and I'm sorry about that. How much time did Dillon Gabriel buy himself? He bought himself next week. That's all he did. That's all he did. He bought himself next week. I mean, there's 10 games left. That's plenty of time to still do a couple of things. Evaluate, try to win some games, this, that, and the other. You can do those things. You got 10 games left. I got a game coming up on Sunday. Then I have a bye week. If he goes out there and he's terrible, if New England goes, no, we're exposing all this ends here. Our guy is going to go, and he's going to play good offense, and we're going to get out of here, and we're going to win, and that's going to be the end of it. And they just put handcuffs on Dillon Gabriel to the point where he just looks completely ineffectual, then fine. Give the calls on Monday.
Yeah,
the calls on Monday.
No, but we're talking with the
week.
team, not the fans. With the team, he's got the job for the foreseeable future this year up until, I still think we'd be looking at the last 4 games. That's where I think Dillon Gabriel will have. That's the leash I think he has. I think.
Well, that all depends.
Unless they go on what would the lose it? They'd have to lose to the Jets. They'd have to. So then there you go. That's 2 losses. You have the schedule in front of you.
So that all depends.
They tore my schedule.
No, it's over there, but it's hard to read. We got to get this. It's my fault. I didn't get to Mark Podolak and get the thing. So here we go. We got New England coming up on Sunday. You have a bye week. Then you have 9 more games after that. You got the Jets, Ravens, Raiders, 49ers, Titans, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. Okay? Last 4, the Bears, Bills, Steelers at home.
Yeah, he's
Bills
getting,
and Steelers at home, then the Bengals on the road.
100% getting to the Tennessee game.
Well,
and if they
see, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Oh yeah, I do.
No, I don't.
Because what you'd have to lose to New York, which who has them losing to New York? It'll be the exact same game plan they just had against the Dolphins. And remember, the Dolphins. That was the game, the measuring stick game between the Dolphins and New York earlier in the year. And you saw who won that game.
Yes.
The Dolphins did.
I think you're right in terms of I don't think it has to go to the Titans game. I think that if he goes out there and you lose to the Jets, or it's ugly against the Jets, or whatever, like, you guys got winnable, very winnable games coming up here. The Jets are 0-7. The Raiders are terrible. You have the Titans again that's coming up that he's mentioned there. You got the Raiders and Jets right in front of you there. If you can't string together anything good there, I don't want to hear anything about any of this stuff. Then fine, he is a backup's backup, because what happens to backups? They eventually get figured out. So if they get figured out, what's going to happen? Eventually the shoe's going to come off, and we're going to see what Dillon Gabriel really is, which is a career backup. That's why you don't want to put backups in there for a very long period of time. And that will, for him, be start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there with the Jets. Yeah, that's probably by the time you start to get rotten. And so you'll probably go in a different direction. I think with the organization, I think everything's evaluated. I disagree with you. I think with the fans, you get yourself to next week. I think with some fans, they're done with them. I think when you get yourself to next week with the fans, I think you get yourself next week to the organization.